very own Martin Tyler is here in our commentary position. Just what, a couple hundred metres away from the stadium, Martin, and fans are in full voice. We've got a tournament on. It might be a year later, but just how nice is it to be here?
It's wonderful. It's the best spot in town outside the stadium, I think. And of course, it's a very, very special game with a lot of history to it. But history only takes you so far. It's what's going to happen in the 90, maybe 120 minutes after yesterday. Who knows what's going to happen? It's been a wonderful tournament, and England have got a really good chance of seizing some initiative here. I think the team that wins tonight will have a great chance of going through to the final itself, which is obviously a couple more hurdles to clear.
What does England-Germany mean to you personally?
Well, it means 1966. And I wasn't broadcasting then, but obviously it was a massive thing for the country. And also, the group stage, we went through without conceding a goal, England. And there was a lot of criticism of Alf Ramsey then, and there's been a bit of criticism of Gareth being a bit negative, but the points have been enough. And if there is a change of system tonight, it'd be quite interesting, because we've had 8 internationals in the calendar year 2021, conceded 1 goal playing with a back 4. So it's a big, but that's what managers are paid big money for. And if it goes with a 3 tonight, well, we'll see what happens. Matching up with Germany, it seems that would be the reason if he does do that.
And even though they played that way in 2018, you just mentioned that defensive record, would he be taking a bit of a risk to change formations for this game?
Well, the result will tell you, won't it? I mean, it's a risk. If you lose, you're going to get a lot of criticism. If you win, you're a genius. Unfortunately, that's the way it is now. There's no half measures.
In terms of England against Germany, you mentioned 66. Since then, it's not gone too well, as we know. No. Apart from 2000 and the group stage with Alan Shearer and all that.
Especially here at Wembley. Yeah. I was here the last time, 1975, the last time England beat Germany. There was a player called Alan Hudson who played for Chelsea, who ran the game and actually didn't have a fulfilled international career after that, but he was the story from the game. And England won 2-0. Germany, of course, were the West Germany as it was then, were the world champions. So it was a big deal, but it's always a big deal when the countries meet, isn't it?
So why could it be different tonight for you?
Well, I think there's 2 things that strike me. One, England haven't had to travel, and that's obviously other countries are saying things about that negatively, but it's to England's advantage. It should be seized. The other thing is, Germany have come through this Group F, the group of death, as it was. We always have one, don't we? And the other sides that have been in it, who got through, are out. And it looks as though the strain of that for Portugal and France has told on them when they've gone into the knockout phase. So from the English point of view, you hope that Germany will be feeling the strain as well, because all their game, I know every game is competitive in a tournament like this, but in that group, and even Hungary played a major part in it as well, pushed the teams all the way. Germany were 10 minutes away from going out. So maybe that will work in England's favour as well.
Half of this England squad weren't even born in 96, Gareth Southgate.
You know how to make me feel old, don't you?
I feel old as well. But half of them weren't even born. And so there's just been this theory that history doesn't weigh on them.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I don't think history should count at all, to be honest. It's lovely to talk about it. We've all got great memories, and interesting to hear, as you've shown in the show, that Gareth says, you score a goal tonight and you will be there for history. But the truth is, it's how it unfolds on the day. Who's best prepared? It might be one moment of magic. We've seen the odd mistake, a lot of own goals, penalties given away in the tournament. One thing like that will either go for you or against you. Very few matches, particularly now we've got to a last 16, are runaway games. So it's going to be fight tooth and nail for the present. And then the future looks a bit brighter if you win those battles.
We wait the confirmation of the starting 11 probably an hour and a half or so from now. It seems to be that Bukayo Saka might well keep his place, having caught the eye against the Czech Republic. Just how impressed were you by the way he came into the tournament and put in a performance like that?
To be honest with you, I've been impressed with him from the moment I first saw him play for Arsenal, you know. He's a delightful young man, but that doesn't necessarily make you a winning footballer. But he's got the other qualities that do make you a winning footballer. He's determined. He's got a great all-round game. He can play in so many different positions, and he'd done that within a few games of playing for Arsenal. They shoved him around not to fill gaps, but because they knew he would improve that particular area of the team. So he's made a good case. Jack Grealish, of course, is a lot of these fans will want to see Jack. He's got that kind of crowd appeal, definitely the people's choice, if you like. And Phil Foden, we came into the tournament and Phil Foden hit the post in the first game, didn't he? And you think if that goes in, we're probably not having this conversation. So it's great that England have got so many options for it. We'll just have to wait and see which one Gareth goes for.
And we do sometimes get hung up on starting 11s, don't we? But you mentioned Foden and Grealish, who might be on the bench tonight.
Jadon Sancho as well.
Sancho as well, who's hardly had a kick in the tournament. How important to remember that the starting 11 for England, if they do go through, might not be the team that wins this game for them.
No, most tournaments it goes all the way through with chopping and changing. And we've got 26 players in the squads this time, so all sorts of options, and we understand why that's the case. There've been quite a few injuries, haven't there? I think fatigue, not just from the tournament, but fatigue from the whole year, not just on the field, but the tough life for everybody can impact on footballers as well. So England have got alternative. For Gareth, it's an unenviable task and an enviable one all rolled into one, isn't it? You've got the options, but you've got to get it right.
I've heard people saying that this is a good time to play Germany.
Yeah.
Is there ever a good time to play Germany?
Well, I think in a sense that from what I've heard from Germany, they're disappointed with the way Germany played in the group stage, and they were, unlike England who've been steady, they were up and down, weren't they? And I'm not sure the Jogi Löw situation, my experience when managers come to the end of their time, just as a broadcaster, you know, it's never quite the same as moving forward. So whether this will be his what a career he's had as manager of their national team, but from the English point of view, I want to say Auf Wiedersehen to him today.
Who are the big threats that England need to be aware of in this Germany side, though?
Well, I think Gnabry is, because obviously you know what he did to Tottenham, and you know he's obviously a player who's got the pace. Maybe that's why if England go with three at the back. I'm not so sure about the wing-back situation. Gosens has only been an international player this season, and he's caught the eye, because when you're on top and your wing-backs are bombing forward, you've got that kind of freedom in the game to do that. But I'm not so sure how his all-round game is that good. Mats Hummels is one of the nicest fellas I've ever come across in working with world football. But a bit of fraying around the edges, maybe, I don't know. But it's Germany, but it's England.